What is a simultaneous equation? Well, sometimes we need to use multiple equations to describe a situation or to solve equations. You're used to seeing an equation with just one line and then solving it, right? But if I give you something like this, the issue with something like this is I have two variables here now, right? And I want you to think, can I find two numbers where if I subtract them from each other, I would get 1?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's one example?
2 and 1.
2 and 1. Can you think of another example?
3 and 2.
See, the problem with something like this is,
4 and 3.
right, there's actually just one answer. If you have one equation with two variables in it, you can't actually solve this because there's not one solution. There's a whole range of answers you could get. That's the issue. If we want to solve for two variables, well, we need two equations. And I'm going to show you a whole variety of ways to solve them. But this is the first method. It's called the substitution method. And it's easier, well, when is it easier? If one of the variables is the subject. What do I mean, Harry, if one of the variables is the subject? What do I mean by that, do you think? Yeah, Joel? Okay, right. If you look at these examples over here, you can see that one of your variables, y, is equal to a whole expression. That's what I mean by one of the variables being equal to the subject. Okay. Let me show you how to do that first one here. Okay, so I've got two equations here. That's what I mean by a simultaneous equation. I've got two equations. Y equals to 2x minus 3. And y equals to x plus 1. What do I want to do with these? The first step is I want to just label my equations. 1 and 2. So equation number 1, equation number 2. It's going to make it really easy to reference. Okay. What do I want to do with these? Well, the idea is called substitution. You want to substitute something into something else. You can see I've got two equations that say that y is equal to something. So what I can do is I can say, hang on, if y is equal to this, but I've also got y into this equation, what I could just say is I can say, instead of writing y, I can just chuck this side of the expression, 2x minus 3, instead of y, right? Because they're the same thing. The way I would write that is I would say substitute, or sub, 1 into 2. Okay. So, instead of writing y, I'm going to take my 2x minus 3, and in my second equation, equation number 2, I'm going to replace that with y. I'll just write 2x minus 3 is equal to x plus 1. So let me just show you what I did there. I said, okay, in equation 1, I've got that y is the same as 2x minus 3. And then I go to equation 2, and I replace y with that expression there. Can you see what I've done there? Okay. All I've done is replace it. Question 2.
Technically,
yeah.
You just solve the top equation. Easy.
I can't solve it like this.
Why not?
Because, remember, the problem is I've got two variables. Y and x could be anything. I need two equations in order to solve it. Why have I done that here? Because now, remember, if I want to solve for two variables, I need two equations. Now I've just got one equation here, and I can go about solving as per normal. Matt, what's one thing I could do to get x by itself here?
Just minus x.
Let's minus x from both sides. Let's minus x from both sides. I would get just x over here, and then this x would go away. I'll get left with 1. And then, remember, what's the goal? I want to get x by itself. So the last thing I could do is just add 3 to both sides. I'll just get x is equal to 4. That's how I can find what that x variable is. Remember, what's the goal here? I'm trying to find what x and y are, right? I've solved for x. I need to solve for y. So how can I do that? Well, I've actually got a few different options here. You see I've got two equations here. I could say, okay, I've got what x is equal to. That's x is equal to 4. And if I look at equation 2 here, right, I could just replace x with 4. I could say sub x equals to 4 into equation number 2, and that's why I reference the equations. It's really easy. Then I can say see clearly what I'm doing. I'll say y is equal to, not x now. What can I write instead of x? I can just write 4, yeah. Y equals to 5. The thing you might be wondering is, can I use this equation here? The answer is yes. You actually get the same thing. If I say sub x equals to 4 into 1 instead, all I'm going to be doing is instead of writing x here, I'll just write 4. Eva, what would I get if I replaced it?
2 4 8
Yep.
minus 3 is 4.
Yeah. Can you see how you get the same thing? Why do you think I substituted into the second equation? Matt, yeah. It's easier, right? All you have to do is 4 plus 1. You don't even have to think about all these operations here. And that's the option you're going to have when you start solving this, right? You can, once you've found one of the variables, you can actually substitute into any of the others to find the other variable, but one of them would generally be easier than the others.